Hello, and welcome to episode 222 of the Arena Regulars podcast. I'm Zach,
And I'm Jeff.
and we're your source for drunken Magic the Gathering arena content.
That's right, just a couple of regular guys drinking some irregular beers and talking about Magic the Gathering, in particular the online client MTG Arena.
That's right, and we have some stuff to unpack this week. There was a major tournament this last weekend, Pro Tour Lorwyn Eclipsed. They played some draft, they played some standard. We watched it, we want to talk about it. I'm really excited. Looking forward to getting into this. But first, each week we bring a beer, we drink it, we rate it on a scale from bronze to mythic, just like the tiers in Arena. So with that, Jeff, what is on tap this week?
All right, I'm excited for this one. This week we have Maudit, which is a beer from Unibrew, or Unibrew,
Yes.
from Chambly, Quebec. I actually thought it was in Montreal, but okay, it's from Chambly. And this is a Belgian double by the same makers of the more famous La Fin du Monde, which is the triple. So this is like the double version of the triple. Fin du Monde. And Fin du Monde, for the listeners of the show who go way back, is the beer that they served at the event that Zach and I met at. It was famously like the best deal in the entire city for that beer because it was like a 9% Belgian triple for $5. So we had some rather silly draft nights drinking that.
Jeff had some rather silly draft nights, and I don't think I ever actually no. You know what? I didn't often order this beer because I didn't really know what it was, and you and Ryan always knew what was going on, so you guys were drinking them. But I do think one time I was playing against you, and you ordered it, and I said, "Oh, I'll have whatever he's having," and that was a crazy night. Yes.
But I think it's fair to say we both love that beer. And
Yes, it's a great
this
beer.
one is the same makers, same style, but toned down slightly. It's only 8% instead of 9. It's the Belgian double instead of the Belgian triple.
But it's in a small can.
It's
The other
doable.
one's a big bottle, right? So, yeah, I think it's
Yeah. So I'm excited. I've actually never tried this. I always just get Fin du Monde. I've always been like, why would I get the double when I get the triple? But
Well, hey, you
we
never know. When we were drinking ducks, they had double ducks, right? And we didn't like that one as much as the
true.
the single ducks. So
as I get older, I start to appreciate, light beers like this 8% of Maudit.
all right, well, Jeff, let's crack this open and let's get everything started.
And I guess for non-French speakers, Fin du Monde means the end of the world. Maudit is, I would describe it as like cursed. Is maybe the best English translation.
Oh, okay.
But it's in Quebec. It's kind of used as like not a cuss word really, but it's if you were like, oh, that's bloody awful. Like you might say it's maudit. It's like bloody.
Maudit.
Like it's cursed.
Oh, okay.
It's like I had a cursed day or whatever. Like
Right.
maudite journée.
Interesting. That's
But then they kind of use it as like emphasis. Yeah, maudit.
got it. Interesting. Is it similar to is it merde? That's something?
Yeah, that means shit.
Yeah, right.
And they use it in the same way that Anglo speakers use it.
Right, yeah.
And I think that's specific to Quebec. So if you're listening from France, you might be like, "What? Nobody says that."
The maudit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, well, I don't know anything about French or anything, so I'm gonna just keep my mouth shut about this one. But I will listen
It's
to
okay. French
whatever
people
you...
are pretty tough to offend. So
Yeah. Yeah, right. All right. With that, we have some Magic news. Lots of stuff going on this weekend. All right. As you're actually listening to this episode, the tournament's happening right now. But Jeff and I are playing in a face-to-face tournament. It's it's hosted by Face-to-Face Games in Toronto. It is the Magic Spotlight Eclipsed event, and so it's a big a Grand Prix style sealed tournament. But if you want to watch it, it is on Face to Face Games Twitch account. They are live streaming it, and we have like big commentators who are commentating the event. It's like Corey Baumeister and Manny DeVudy are going to be here. It's like that's just
I like
so
both
cool.
those commentators.
So, really exciting stuff. Looking forward to playing in that and not being on coverage.
It's true. You're trying to avoid coverage. That means you're playing against someone famous. So.
Yeah, or you're just undefeated. But I guess there's going to be a lot of undefeated people, so yeah.
On day one, yeah.
Yeah, there's like 1,800 people playing, so like it's just
that's so crazy.
I think that it would have to be somebody famous for us.
It'd be by far the biggest tournament I've ever played in. 1,800.
It's so many. It's crazy. So I'm very excited. That is this weekend. But also this weekend is the standard qualifier. So if you are looking to play some competitive standard this weekend, and you have all the tokens that you need, I guess the play-in is when this episode comes out, so maybe this information is a little bit too late for you. But it is happening, though. If you want to look forward to something like this, the qualifier weekend for March is going to be sealed. So you can, I would say you can get ready for that, but I think it's going to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so you can look at all the rares online if you want to get ready for that, I guess. Because those got spoiled by the company.
Even if it was Lorwyn, you still can't really get ready for it, right?
It's true. Yeah, you can't play seals right now. Yeah. Jeez. We'll get into that in just a minute. But also next week there's another Arena Direct event for Lorwyn Eclipsed, but it's for play booster boxes, so you can also get ready. Well, no, sorry, you can't get ready for it because there's no way to practice sealed.
They just don't let you.
Maybe we should just talk about that right now. I think this is crazy.
It's ridiculous.
I can't believe it. Like, I was happy that I was able to practice sealed coming up into this tournament, and I got to play in the Arena Direct last weekend for the collector booster boxes, and then I started a sealed on Monday night, forgetting that it was they were getting rid of it Tuesday morning, and so I built my deck, played my thing, went to bed because I had to get up and I was going to take care of my daughter in the morning. She gets up, but then I'm just sitting there and hoping that she's going to stay asleep just so I can finish playing on my phone, so I don't lose a bunch of gems for no reason.
Classic.
Luckily I got the trophy and it was totally fine, but it was cutting it pretty close. I'm why do we have to get rid of sealed so quickly? What's this about?
I don't get it. It's one thing to not let me practice for the spotlight event on Arena, which I think is wrong. I think if you don't do that many of these, just let me play at least the week leading up to the event.
Yeah, just the 4 days or whatever.
But when the event is on Arena and I can't even practice for it, I feel like there's no excuse.
Yeah, it's you have we can't practice for the Arena Directs anymore, and there is sealed, but it's the pick your creature type sealed.
Everyone just picks elves, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's just it's just not. Or they pick goblins, hoping that maybe if I get it. Well, no, because everybody else gets juiced up with their packs too. Anyway, it's just disappointing. It just seems so simple.
It's just odd. I understand that. Okay, most competitive limited players want to play Premier Draft.
Yeah.
And so the sealed format, they're trying to offer something for that, with this pick your kindred deck kind of vibe to a different crowd. But I don't understand why you can't just have both.
I think that you should have the seeded pack thing for pre-release weekend and then just get rid of it.
Yeah, that's what I would do too.
Or make it a midweek Magic thing. It's great. And Phantom sealed where you get to pick your own creature thing. Boy, awesome.
I just don't get it when there's a bunch of emphasis on competitive limited play and it's all going to be sealed, and I'm just not allowed to play that format on Arena. That just makes no sense to me.
It's just wild. But we do have Pick 2 Draft and we have Alchemy Draft. and we have
Oh,
quick draft.
great. We have like 14 different fake limited formats that we could choose from, but we don't have the one that they use for competitive play.
Yeah, I was even like really happy with the traditional one. Like being forced to play traditional sealed was actually kind of fun, and I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? Normally I would just play, the best of one, but because I wasn't really having access to just a regular best of one. I played best of three. I was like, you should just have this. It was a great time.
And I don't know if it's just because this is the first time I've played best of three limited, like seriously, in a
while.
long time. Or if it is this set, but I felt like this set has some sideboarding chops, whereas a lot of sets I've played in the past, I just don't even sideboard. I'm just click, click, click.
It's just like this is just a waste of time.
yeah.
No, I think that. I mean, my hot take for this, I said it last week, but I think this is a better sealed format than draft format. Like, I think as far as like sealed goes, I've been really enjoying it, and like
Because the
I've been
drafts
talking
are
to a lot
kind
of
of on
people.
rails, and the
Yeah, the
sealed
gameplay
is
is really fun, but like the draft is not that exciting.
the sealed is about cobbling together like weird pockets of different kindred archetypes.
If you have that, but also it changes some of the picks. Like I've opened like bomb elf rares that you just can't play because you don't have any support. So you're like, I got to make something else happen, and then you can. So like you don't like you leave the Gloom Ripper in your sideboard because you're like, I don't have enough elves for this to be good.
Yeah, normally when I build my sealed decks, I'm very fast. Like, probably too fast. But in this
Yeah.
format, I've just been like, it's taking so long. Because I'm just like, there is so many different options here.
Yes.
And none of it is the clear, you should do this. Like,
Obvious,
obviously,
do
sometimes you
this.
get that pool, right? Like,
Yes.
where it's just like all your rares are elf rares, and you have depth
like-
and green and black, and you have removal and elves.
Yeah, and you're like,
it's like,
okay.
well, I guess that's what I'm supposed to do. And that's a no-brainer. But most of the time,
Yeah.
it's like you got an elf rare that's really, really powerful, and like 2 or 3 crappy elves, some mediocre changelings, and then you have like a merfolk rare that's awesome, and some better merfolk than your elves, but the merfolk's not as good as the elf rare, and it's just like
Yeah, I think it's
tough
really
builds out there,
interesting.
man.
I and like some people, like I would not advise this, and yes, okay, this was one of my quote unquote free wins I would kind of think of, but my opponent was playing mono green elves for, I don't know why they decided to do that. Specifically, the reason I don't know why they decided to do it is because they did have Champion the Perfect in their deck. Sure, they had lots of elves that could play it. That's great.
That's a reason to play green. Doesn't mean you
Yes.
have to be mono green.
But they were playing mono green, and the reason I know they were mono green is because they were searching up lands and they were just all forests. I was like,
Yeah, like when you go to search up your 9th forest or whatever, it's like, ah, this dude's
Yeah.
mono green.
but at the top end, they had that like Aurora Giant that like plays things for free when you have a bunch of different colored stuff. I'm like, you decided to play mono green with
That's
this card that
explicitly a
says
reason not to be mono.
play multiple colors, and like they slam it down. They're like, finally get to play their 7/7 Trampler. They flip over the top card. It's a forest. They put it into play. That's it.
You get one thing, yeah.
Okay, it was just like,
That is
oh,
so
this
weird.
is. It just felt like a free win.
I mean,
'cause I
it's
was
not
like,
a bad card, even when you only get one.
No,
but it's
but
like not.
you're definitely not
why that card
leveraging
is
your
busted.
strength.
Yeah,
You're just not gaining very much for being mono green. Like,
I think, and that's something that's worth talking about. Like, I think, I probably not new players, but like intermediate players who are thinking about mana base and like mana availability and stuff like that. I find a lot. Those are the kinds of players that often build these monocolored decks. And I think the big thing you have to say about that is like you really, really need a reason. And that reason can't be green is your best color and you want mana to be easy. Because unless like every green card you have is better than every card in every other color, there's almost no reason not to like chuck a few swamps in your deck and play your best black card. Right?
Yeah.
Like
we have seen formats where like mono green or monocolored things are good, but there are like let's
almost
say,
never
you know,
in sealed though. Like that's a draft.
Oh,
that's a
true,
rare
true,
thing
true.
in draft.
in draft.
But
Yeah,
you can
you're
make
right,
it
you're right.
happen if it's
But in
just wide
sealed, yeah,
open.
yeah, you're right.
But,
You're right. It
and
would have
even
to
in
be a-
draft, it's like might as well. Like you're gonna get a
Get
good
some
off-color
stuff.
card at some point that's better than your like 23rd playable. You might as well just play that.
Yeah. Unless you're playing like whatever.
Right. The reasons do
14
exist, right? Like some
drops.
random
Yeah.
rare that has 5 green pips,
Yeah.
you know, but is super busted. That's a reason to be mono green. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But you need a reason to do it.
Yeah, or
Otherwise, you
Blanchwood
might as
armor.
well splash.
So
Blanchwood armor.
there's
Yeah,
that.
good
Yeah.
example, right? Like anything that cares about forests particularly. But most decks are just like, at worst, you have 2 green pips in some of your cards.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
like you can
Majority.
do that off 9 forests, 10 forests.
Yes.
No problem.
Just do that. But yeah, anyway, funny stuff with that. All's to say,
But yeah, don't play vivid cards in your mono deck either.
yeah. I want more sealed, and I didn't always think this way, but
Yeah, what
like
year
sealed.
is it? I want to play best of 3 sealed.
yeah, it's wild. I'm like so excited to do this. Anyway, but speaking of things that Arena has changed, we got some huge news. This is crazy.
Lay it on me.
And the fact that it is this crazy makes me really sad. We've been waiting for this since they changed it. But they finally fixed the sideboards. So there are no longer
50.
7-card sideboards. Everything is 15 cards.
Thank you.
Best of 1, best of 3. All the sideboards are 15 cards. And we've
That's
had
been
this since the beginning of the podcast. Since 2021, we've had this issue.
I feel like we complained about this pretty early on.
As soon as they did it, we
Yeah.
complained. Because like it didn't make any sense. Like they were so if you weren't playing back in original Strixhaven, there were these like lesson and learn cards, and so you could learn in game, and it would help you go get lessons from your sideboard. And they were worried for some reason, thinking that in best of 1, that it would be too strong to have a 15-card wish board. So they're like, you can only have 7 cards. It was never a problem. It wasn't even close to a problem.
Not even close, yeah.
It was a waste of time, and it also screwed it up so that not only the best of 1, quote unquote, deck lists had 7 cards in your sideboard, every single deck you had a 7 and then a 15 split chunk thing built into the system.
It was so annoying.
Ridiculous.
Especially since the ordering of sideboard cards, too, is like...
That's the biggest thing. Where it's like, you put 3 duresses in, but 2 of them are in the 7 chunk, and 1 of them's in the 15 chunk, and you're like,
Yeah.
this is so stupid. And we've dealt with it for so long and just kind of like given up and been like, whatever, I guess this is just Arena's dumb. Doesn't matter if I say traditional sealed or whatever, or traditional, sorry, standard. traditional
Why isn't
standard.
it working?
Yeah. It's crazy. So they finally fixed it. It's all 15. All the cards are next to each other. They still do show as like individual cards, so it's not like duress. It says 3 times duress. It just says duress, duress, duress.
I don't
But
hate that, though, actually. Because it's
not
kind of like...
horrible. But it at least we don't have to deal with that headache anymore. 5 years
That
of
was
that
so
was enough.
annoying. And I'd be like, why don't I have 4 duresses in my deck? And I'd be like, oh, because 1 is fucking down here, and the other 3... I do have 4 in my sideboard.
Yeah. It's just...
The
It
top
just
3 are duress, and also the like 9th card is duress.
Yeah, it just made me like it breeds not wanting to build a sideboard, which is not what they should want to do. Now they're marketing it as, hey, your best of 1 deck's gonna have 15 cards in their sideboard. Maybe also try out best of 3, which is what they're supposed to do. That's what you want in your game. You
And it
want
was
people
so
to play.
annoying when you'd like just, oh, there's a best of 1 event that I'm supposed to play in. Let me just take my best of 3 deck and build.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, you have too many cards.
You got too many cards in your
sideboard.
sideboard. It's like, this is so dumb. It doesn't even matter. I can't
God, it
use
doesn't
them.
matter. It's not. None of that is accessible.
Just pretend it's not there. Anyway, so they're changing this ahead of Strixhaven, Secrets of Strixhaven coming out in April.
They bungled
March,
it
April?
with original Strixhaven, and they fixed it with the return.
And they fixed it with this one, which does mean we are getting Learn, almost assuredly. we already had the lessons, so I don't know if it's just going to be strictly we have learn in Strixhaven and you can learn the lessons from Avatar or whatever. But
Yeah, we're pretty sure that learn would have to be back, right, for them to.
well, we felt like it was going to be back, but now it feels like it's definitely.
Or
back.
is it the opposite? They're confident removing that rule because they know learn is not going to be a mechanic.
I mean, there's also that. That would be a weird way of doing that, but and also choosing to do it right now. But whatever. Anyway,
Wizards would never do something weird.
Wizards would never do something weird. What are you talking about? All right. Also, now that we're here, we've finally gotten to the most important part of the whole episode. What we're really waiting for. Pro Tour Lorwyn Eclipsed was this last weekend. It was freaking awesome, and congratulations to Christopher Larson for taking it down with Demir. What is it? Demir Excruciator. Damn.
Yeah, I thought that was so interesting that they called the deck that, because I was like, what is that? And then I looked it up, I'm like, oh, it's just like the Sultai Reanimator list without green.
Without green, yeah. But, like, it still had, like, demons-y things that they were, like, it, you know, the Excruciator part reminds us of Javier Dominguez's deck from Worlds last year. But before we get into all the stuff, and congrats, Christopher, again, I gotta say, this tournament was awesome. Like, the field coming into the tournament looked really scary in the sense that there was a ton of, like, Badger Mold Cub decks, and everyone was worried that these were just going to take over, and it's like, well, this is obviously the best thing to do. All the pros are bringing these decks. It's just going to be Badger Mold Cub tournament. And it was delightfully the opposite. There's like a ton of different decks that were all prepped to beat Badger Mole Cub, and they all did. They all feasted on the Cubs. And it's just crazy.
Yeah, Cub is one of those cards I don't get. Like, everyone's complaining about it and always, you know, called for bans immediately, and there's always the ban talk of it. And when I play against it, I'm like, this card is obviously strong, but it's not. I don't know. I'm not seeing what other people are seeing. And then so when I saw the metagame, I was like, okay, I guess I'm just missing something about Badger Mole Cup. I get it. It's a very powerful accelerant, but that's it. It's not like it wins the game on its own kind of thing. And it's just so easy to fight that I'm like, I'm totally fine. If this is the best card in Standard, I'm fine with that. Because it's easy to build a deck that can deal with it. And so it's a little bit, you know, vindicating to see that actually Badger Mole Cup didn't dominate this tournament in win rate. It dominated just in play rate.
What people thought was going to be good. And there were only two copies. There's only two decks in the top 8 that had Badger Mole Cub in them, and they both lost in the quarterfinals. And but this top 8 was wild. I mean, like, the entire tournament was wild. But the top 8 had 7 different decks. There were no mirror matches. Like, the Badger Mole Cubs were gone almost immediately. And it was just a roller coaster whirlwind. Like, the whole tournament was so exciting. All the decks were so interesting. There's so many Lorwyn Eclipse cards that were, like, being utilized. Entire archetypes were coming out. There was, like, a bunch of brews that were just, like, bubbling to the surface throughout the weekend. It was really, really cool. Like, I think that this tournament feels like one to be remembered, one that will be forgotten because it wasn't Nadu. You know what I mean? Like, people like to remember, that Pro Tour where it was like, Eldrazi Winter, like things like that.
Yeah.
But, like, this one should be remembered for how refreshing it was. Like, it was just really cool to see all this stuff. Like, the win rates for other was 61%.
Yes,
like,
that's what I want to see.
That is so wild. You never see that. Like, this is just,
especially after just like a few events in a row of just pure blue-red dominance.
Yeah,
It's
over
nice
and
to
over
see
again.
that only half the decks in the top 8 were blue-red.
Yeah, at least they were all like different though, or they had like green in them, or they were control, or they were combo, or it
Yeah,
wasn't just like different
I'm
versions
mostly
of
making a joke, but I'm
spells.
actually being genuine as well. It's like,
Yeah,
it wasn't just 7 of the same blue-red deck, which is what we've
yeah,
sort of gotten accustomed. And one
or seven.
one outsider that you're hoping for, and they lose immediately.
It's mono red. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Also, like, I don't know. I just thought this was such a cool.
And one
Event.
copy of Visit Lessons, that's fine. That's cool.
That's fine.
That's cool.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I think that this tournament did a really good job showcasing a bunch of the new cards. You're talking about Badger Mole Cub. It obviously there was 2 cards printed that just smoke it immediately, which is the Requiting Hex and the Spell Snare, and they were everywhere, and like ready for the Cubs. And it was fun to see all these decks try to sideboard against each other.
One black one and
Like-
one blue one. The deck that won.
Had both of those cards. Interesting. But no, watching these decks try to like, okay, I'm the deck that's beating the best deck, and you're also a different deck that's beating the best deck, but I didn't have you on my radar. So they're both like sideboarding into each other, and everyone's learning on the fly in the tournament. Like, I don't know. This was just, it was great. It was great. It was delightful. I had a great time. I will say, as soon as Doomsday Excruciator hits the battlefield and exiles everybody's libraries, games get really interesting really quickly about like what is going to happen, because someone's going to die very quickly, and I love it when it's the Doomsday Excruciator player like dying to their own mill strategy or whatever happens.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, oh, it's just like the Spider-Man Reanimator, but it's Dimir. Mostly joking about that. It is definitely makes sense to call this its own thing.
Yeah.
And it kind of harkens back to like really old school, like Doomsday decks, which were notorious for being overpowered but very difficult to play for exactly the reason that you're talking about, right? Like when to pull that trigger it requires a lot of forethought. Now, of course, Doomsday only did that, and this like attaches a massive body to it, so you definitely have
Yes,
the
with
advantage
evasion. Yeah.
when you play the Excruciator. So it simplifies things a little bit, but
But
it's
you
still,
do draw extra cards.
yeah, it's
so-
still non-trivial, right? Like you have to basically think through how the next few turns are going to go, and if you can afford to do that. And if you're wrong, you're going to lose. It's not like one of those things where if you're wrong, like, man, you're not in the lead anymore or whatever. It's like you lose. So
Just the game's over. Yeah.
I kind of like this deck being one of the best decks because it's like, I think a lot of people will just pick this up and pilot it because that's how it works. When it's the Pro Tour,
Yeah.
you're going to run into it on the ladder. And I think people will be surprised at their win rates. Like, this deck probably smashed, at least in Christopher's hands, smashed Badger Mole Cubs decks left, right, and center. But when you just randomly download this and go play it on the ladder, I bet you're going to get smashed by Badger Mole Cubs decks left, right, and center.
I could definitely see that, yeah.
Because their game plan
sure.
is so linear, and it's just it's easy. It's easier for you to make a mistake than for them.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I will say you hit the nail right on the head with the Deceit being copied with the Cavero or the Superior Spider-Man, and doing all the different stuff. And the one thing I wanted to say, I mean, like, besides all the elementals being in a bunch of different decks, all but the Boros one, I did really like the games where this deck was sideboarding against the other elementals decks. So like I think that he had to do this against the Is It Elementals decks.
Against Eduardo, right?
Yeah, where you bring in Torpor Orb. And so he's playing Torpor Orb to shut down his opponent's decks, but also it just makes it so that you can just play Doomsday Excruciator and not have to worry about getting like any of the other stuff. You're like, I just have a 6/6 flyer now that draws me extra cards. I don't have to worry about the whole Doomsday part because it just like doesn't have the.
Does Torpor Orb? Wouldn't it just mean they can evoke their elemental and not have to sacrifice it?
Yes, you can do that.
But
you
it
just
doesn't
don't
have
get
the
any
ETB triggers, so it's
Correct,
just like
yeah.
a 2-mana 5/5. Or
But
whatever.
you can also evoke your elementals as well.
Yeah,
So like
that's really
you-
interesting. But you have the Excruciators, I guess, so it puts you a little ahead. That's what you're
yeah,
saying.
plus
Like, yeah.
Kavero or whatever else you want. So like, which I guess Kavero is not as exciting because it does turn into the thing. So maybe it can be a flyer, but you do have the upper hand with the Excruciators, mainly because they draw you extra cards now.
I
and you
like
don't
that.
care
I
about
like
your
Torpor Orb
library.
in the sideboard of this deck because it like turbocharges a lot of your own stuff. Mm-hmm. I just think it's super interesting to bring it in against other decks where, in one sense, you're also turbocharging their things, but you're
Well, except for the fact that in the Elementals deck, a lot of their cards, like their mana fixing and their removal and their card draw, is all linked to ETBs.
right.
And
It's
so
what
you're-
makes
you're
the
just
deck
like-
work is that these creatures are also spells.
Yeah, and you're just like, actually, a bunch of your creatures are just vanilla now, but I'm fine with my
And
creatures being
Dimir
vanilla.
doesn't care about that really. Like,
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
2-mana 5/5 is not a big deal for a Dimir deck.
Yeah. So it ended up being like a really interesting thing that I didn't expect to see.
Yeah,
I thought
that's
that was a really
crafty.
cool sideboard tech. Especially when it's like, yeah, I'm attacking you with the 6/6, and you spend 4 mana to play 2 Deceits, and just they stay
Yeah.
because of the evoke stuff, and you're just like, okay, deal with this. Because a lot of like the spell elementals decks were trying to do like the roaming throne thing where they're doubling up on triggers, and they're just like, you just don't have those anymore.
Just none of
And
that
they're just
counts. Yeah.
like, yeah, which was super sweet. I don't know, made me really excited. I mean, Christopher Larson is just like such a cool guy.
Yeah.
I love his just like energy and everything. I wasn't rooting for him though. I will say I wanted Tony Portolan to win with the Teamer Harmonizer deck because that's the deck I would like to play because it's very protect the queen, combo off, win in one turn.
It's a very Zach deck for sure.
Yeah. So I was like, ooh.
I
that
like
seems-
Harmonizer though. You know, we've been
It's-
talking about Harmonizer decks. A few
Yeah,
weeks
super
ago and stuff.
cool. And anyway, so I was really pulling for that one, and it came down to the wire. Like, it was not it wasn't a sweeping finish by any means. So
Well, that's what I was going to say. I didn't get to watch the top 8, unfortunately. But looking at the results, there's 2 3-0s, but there's a lot of 3-2s here, man. Like,
yes, it's very exciting.
It seems like it was just an awesome, awesome top 8. Like, there
It
8?
really was.
8, like 7 different decks, 7 different nationalities, and lots of 3-2 tight matches. It's
Yeah.
just, this is what you want. This is what you want the top 8 to be.
Exactly. It
With
was
the
also really
exception
interesting.
that, I would have liked Eduardo to actually win it. But, so
I
the final
also
loss
wanted
is-
Eduardo to win. So Eduardo's the Canadian player, which I'm just rooting for. I live in Canada. I'm not Canadian, but
I also
I
like-
actually
I also like him because he did a thing where he was commentating for a while. He like came off the pro
Oh.
scene, he started commentating, and I remember thinking like he wasn't that energetic and animated. Like it's the kind of guys that tend
yeah,
to
they do
excel
well
in this
with
role.
that.
But he was definitely the knowledge person.
The expert, yeah.
The expert?
knowledge person.
I don't know. The
Yeah,
guy who like
there's-
actually knew what he was
there's-
talking about.
There's the dumb one, and then there's the knowledgeable one. Yeah.
Or
See, I s-
modern approach is just like 2 dumb ones, but one's like less dumb.
Yeah. I strive to be the dumb one at the desk.
But yeah, that was not Eduardo. He was the one who actually could tell you what's going on in the game at any time. And I remember being like, "Wow, this guy's like really good. I wonder why he's not just playing. Like if he can immediately, like someone plays a card, he immediately explains what they're thinking and stuff.
What's going
that,
on? Yeah.
That was years ago, so I guess he's back on the scene and
Yeah, wait,
top
did
eighting
he
Pro
did a
Tours.
lot. He did stuff with like Riley Knight and stuff, right?
Yeah, that was
Okay,
pretty
I
common
have seen
combo.
that footage.
But
yeah,
he
yeah.
just seemed like a really nice, sort of genuine, kind of obviously knows a lot about the game kind of guy.
Yeah.
So.
I do like. I was rooting for him as well because going into the match that got him into the top 8, he won the third game in turns on the final turn.
That's like how you draw it. Like,
it was
no,
so
that's not how you draw
good.
it. You want to like double draw
Yeah.
to the top 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's what
But
you
it
would
was-
like dream about. Like, imagine this. I'm in a
It was-
win and in, and
We
turn
go to
5
turns,
of extra
you know,
turns.
and he's doing everything he can because he's gaining little bits of, he can try to get there, and his opponent is just trying to stop everything from happening, just to be like, if I can just wait out
Just
another turn to
don't
get
die.
a draw.
Yeah.
And he's able to squeeze it out at the very last second. It was very exciting.
Which, by
and
the
that
way,
was
is
what I-
fine for his opponent to do, unless they were like slow playing to get there or whatever. to,
No.
like, draw. Yeah.
They were just hoping that.
Of course, once you're going there, you're playing for the draw. You're playing for the draw. That's
Yeah.
totally.
Well, also, once you start turns, there's no slow play, right? It's just like.
Yeah, I know, but like I've played against people where the reason it went to turns is because they were
Right.
slow playing, and then that leaves a bad taste in your mouth. But,
No, that was definitely not the issue.
Yeah.
The games would just go really long, but man,
I know. I've just heard reactions to that of like, oh, playing like he should just concede to his opponent. Like, no. In this situation,
No,
if
no.
you played at a reasonable pace, you're playing the game to win and into the top 8 of the Pro Tour. Like,
absolutely.
these are the rules that you both agreed to when you signed up for this tournament. You play.
Yeah, it's the same thing as like if you're playing against like Control on Arena, and like it takes them forever to win the game, or Combo where they have to click through the entire thing.
Yeah.
Let them, if you win by the clock, you win by the clock. They chose a deck that takes forever to play.
Yeah.
So,
Whip
like-
out your phone, start your doom scrolling.
Or whatever, and you can pass priority when you have to, but let them chew up as much clock as they need, because maybe in match 1 they're gonna spend 12 extra minutes doing bullshit, but 12 is a lot. Probably not 12.
That would be,
but
I would definitely let them do that.
yeah, a good chunk of time where that at the end of the third game you're gonna need that time to really put the hammer on them, and help make them speed up and try to maybe they make mistakes, maybe they try to turn the corner too fast and you can still kill them or whatever.
I will say the one exception is if you're playing against Gabriel Nassif, he always wins with 2 seconds left on his clock. So he's going to get you.
He's very good at that.
If you just see him, he's your opponent, you could just concede.
Just concede. Yeah. Don't even worry about it.
It's going to be an hour, and you're going to lose.
Yeah. One thing I did want to say is that the top 8 didn't have any players from the United States and no players from Japan, which is not normal.
I wonder what the stats are on when's the last time that happened.
I have no idea, because you always have a couple of each. A lot of the times our top 8s are a
It's
sprinkling
usually
of
there's one person who doesn't fit that.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bunch
one or
of
two
US
people
players.
who aren't American or
Yeah.
Japanese.
It's 6 or 7 US players, 2 Japanese players, and then 1 from Spain or something. And you're okay. But I don't know. It was just sweet. I will say the beginning of the tournament, the curse of we were following Seth Manfield in the draft, we do. We always follow whoever previously
His
won
draft
the
seemed
last
okay
thing.
too, I thought.
It did seem okay, but there was a lot of other people picking good cards around him that kind of
he wasn't the Dream Elves deck,
no.
but he was in the best deck in the format and had a reasonable version of it, I thought.
Yeah, he had pieces there. I did like his combo with his I think it was his pack one pick one was the Champion of the Perfect.
Yeah.
And
Almost
he
the
had a-
Dream pack one. It's
yeah,
it's
yours
one
like,
of the top
perfect.
10 for sure.
I will say that like the more I've played in sealed with Champion of the Perfect, and you don't have elves, it's just like, actually these champions kind of suck a little bit if you don't
Oh
have
yeah,
the
the
deck
champions
for
are
it.
brutal if you don't have.
Yeah,
I
so
often like, because they're just rares, they come up all the time, especially in sealed, like you're saying, and you just can't
Yeah.
play them. And I've internalized that now, where I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
if I could play this, that's awesome, but I probably
If not,
can't.
I just-
to be honest.
Yeah, the like extra casting cost is so brutal. I've
Yeah.
had too many games where it's just in my hand, or like I have a 2-drop elf, and I'm like, do I just hold this in my hand so I can play Champion of the Perfect? Like I have it, I have both
this
in
is
my
gonna,
hand.
yeah, right. This is gonna die at some point. And yeah.
So it's like if I play this on 2 and it dies, and I don't draw another elf, I'm screwed. So now do I just wait till turn 4 to play Champion of the Perfect and hope, and then that dies? Which is why I thought this Grave Shifter little combo was such a fun little thing. Where,
Yeah.
like you have Grave Shifter.
That was the
you
first
use that
time
with
they
Champion of the
brought
Perfect.
that up while he was drafting, I think. And I was like, oh yeah, I really
Yeah,
thought about
it's
that. That's cute.
super cool because you kill the Champion of the Perfect, it goes to the graveyard. Grave Shifter comes back to your hand, you recast it, you get Champion of the Perfect back, you recast it, you exile
Sturdly
the
as hell,
Grave Shifter.
but,
it is. It takes turns, but it's really cool. So I like that a lot, and you can use that with any of the champions.
I'm a big Grave Shifter guy, man. Like, it's, to me, it's a pull into black. I think probably, I haven't checked. I think the stats are probably against me, but
I'm also gonna say that is I just think that like it's just definitely not good enough. My
I just
brain
grew
is,
up in a world where Gravedigger was like the slam dunk, absolute sort of best thing you could see in limited. So
yeah, and
I still have that bias.
It is like a C minus. It's like 54%
Insane
on some of
to
the
me.
lanes.
That's insane.
Yeah. So like
I probably
fairly
treat
bad.
it okay. Like, let's not go crazy. I probably treat it as a C plus.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
In my mind, it's closer to C minus to like D range, where I'm like, am I going to play this or not? I don't know.
Yeah, I need to make that adaptation. Although I think it's probably better in sealed than in draft.
Because the shapeshifter thing in sealed is way more important.
Yeah, super important.
Yeah, because like in draft
And
sometimes
sealed
like,
is slower, so a Gravedigger is already
does
naturally better in sealed than in draft.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean the other black uncommons above it are like a couple goblin cards and a couple elf cards, obviously. So
Oh, there's goblin cards above it.
yeah, the mud button curse tosser, the 1-mana 2/1 that dies and kills a 2 power creature, and the Bogart Mischief, which is
Oh, I do
your-
like that
your-
card. Yeah.
one of your favorites, of course. It just does
I
your
built a
favorite
standard
ability.
deck around that card. It's not very good,
Yeah?
but I built it.
I did see somebody sent me their draft deck where they had taken what is that? It's called there's a Gruul rare that it's a 5-mana enchantment that lets you conspire or your non-creature spells.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so they use
I deemed it unplayable, but
yes. I mean, I also am. It makes me, nervous to play because it's a 5-mana enchantment that does nothing. But they were able to conspire their Bogart Mischief, and then they just had a bunch of those, and then got a bunch of
I do love
goblins.
that.
And
That's
basically, it was
amazing.
just like, now we're just doubling up on any of these.
That feels like something that would happen against me, and I'd be
Yeah,
like, "Wow,
totally.
that's
When
the
you're
only
like-
time that's ever going to happen for you."
they play the Gruul enchantment, and you're like, oh, I'm going to win this game. And then they play 2 of these. You're like, I think I'm going to lose this game.
Went from 100% sure I was going to win to 100% sure I'm going to lose.
I'm
Very
gonna
quickly.
lose. But man, I will say that I've been watching a lot of old like Pro Tour coverage on YouTube. But more specifically, I've been watching this YouTuber that just really is phenomenal. If you've ever watched Hungry on Plane, it's just a YouTube channel, but they just dive into like old Pro Tour stories and primarily around like block constructed Pro Tours. But they do. If you ever just want to sit down and watch a bunch of stuff, I've been listening to it like as if it was a podcast while I'm like shushing my
I do
baby
that
to sleep.
sometimes with. Obviously, I haven't heard of this one yet, but like, yeah, certain videos.
You would love it. You would love it. So Hungry on Plane. I'll just send it to you. He had a really good like Kai Buddha one from years ago.
Oh.
I posted it in the Discord because someone had posted it somewhere else, so I found it and I watched that, and then I just continued to watch like all of them. So then I got really into it, and so I was watching this, or I was watching the Pro Tour this weekend, or I was watching coverage from VODs I had missed from the weekend. It was just great. It was
very
a
magic filled.
Yes,
yeah.
magic filled weekend. It was fantastic. But I highly recommend that YouTube channel. Very, very good stuff. Anyway.
Cool. I'll check it. Like, I feel like I have the longevity in the game too to be able to follow some of that stuff too. Where I'm just like, even if I wasn't playing at that time, like I was probably played before it, and like
yeah,
I know
it's like a lot of fun little stories or things from like Time Spiral Block and things from like Odyssey or like Urza Saga or Mercadian Masks. Like it's just fun to hear these like stories that I didn't know that were like, some of it doesn't even have like coverage. It's just like the text, the written what happened in the game.
Yeah,
and
I
he just like
remember
goes through
days.
it. And
You'd read it.
Reads it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's he does a really good job. I've just been obsessed with that recently, so that's also
super
flavoring
cool, man.
possibly this Pro Tour as well, where I'm like, man, the Pro Tour is the fucking shit, dude. I love this, man. Also because we're playing in a tournament this weekend where we're gonna try to,
And then
qualify
we'll get
for
to
the Pro
play in
Tour.
Pro Tour.
And then we'll be part of the YouTube videos that this guy makes.
Yep.
Yeah.
When we meet each other in the finals of the Pro Tour.
That's right. And you concede graciously. Oh gosh.
Agree to
But
split.
anyway.
Actually, we'll do this is why we'll be on the podcast, because we'll Dan for it.
Put our decks aside. We'll play Dan. That would be wild. They wouldn't let us do that.
No, they would intervene pretty quick, I think.
They'd be like, no, you can't do this.
Don't do that.
That's not a good
I'm pretty sure I'm not
end
even
to the
allowed to
story.
concede the
the finals.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it would obviously be, no one would know except for me, because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could tell that you would make
I'd just
major
draw a
mistake.
card and be like, shit. Go.
Go. It's just like, yeah, just like,
Why'd you keep a 7 with no lands?
yeah. You're like, you keep discarding lands.
Yeah.
Inside.
Another island. Get out of here.
Yeah, ugh. Yeah, I don't want to play this. Excuse me.
It would be a
wanna bring up,
protest
however-
because I refuse to play against auras. That's what would happen.
Oh, good, because I'm going to play Auras. I
Because
actually
if you're
did
there,
build
it's auras.
I did build an Auras deck in Sealed recently. Oh no, it was Draft. Sorry, it was Draft. I drafted an Auras deck.
No Protect the Queen decks.
I love them. I love them. They're so fun. Especially the Spell Snare card is so fun. What a
I
fun.
haven't heard of that one. Is it good?
Yeah,
I haven't
it's
tried it
so nice. It honestly, I will say, Spell Snare has been pretty interesting to see what people's draw spells are. It's like you're playing Consult the Star Charts. Ooh, Stock Up's a bit better because it can't get countered with this card too.
I know, this hurts my argument that Consult the Star Charts was better than
Was
Stock
better.
Up.
Well,
I
we
didn't know that
obviously
Spell
didn't
Snare
know.
was coming. I didn't know.
Yeah. But also, Stock Up is a lot easier to hit with Spell Pierce. So, like, if you have a mix of stuff, you just don't know. And I think that that's cool. I like that a lot.
That's good game design.
Yeah. But I did quickly want to talk about some of this. Frank Karsten had put together all the win rates from all the different decks and how they fared against each other, which is always pretty interesting. Especially when we're looking at some of the decks, because Doomsday Excruciator did win the tournament. However, it's kind of like, I don't know what we would say. It got a 58% win rate. And like it's better matchups. Good. Yeah, it is good. It's like high
top
high middle.
10 kind of looks like. Maybe
I think it's a little
maybe
out,
top 12.
Yeah, something like that. And it has like great matchups against like Solte Reanimator and against like Simic Rhythm and things like that. But losing against Is It Lessons and like the Is It Spelementals and stuff. But obviously the top 8 is the place where you're just like, I'm going to take these decks and these are the ones. And most notably the final 2. Those are the ones you're always looking at, right? However, the deck that performed the best was Azorius Tempo, but only 2 people played this deck. So they had a 15-5 record combined. So I don't necessarily know if this is what we want to be looking at. That feels like a little bit of an outlier. None of them made the top 8. It's kind of split between the 2 of them.
I mean, you could look at the confidence interval on his graph there, right? It's either the best deck or mid-pack.
Yes. However, Is It Spelementals is the deck. This deck. A ton of people took this. I think it was like 15 players played this deck, and it had a 70.7% win rate.
This deck was 99, 41, and 1.
That's
What?
wild. It's so wild.
And we were talking about, the Cub decks. This deck was 20 and 10 against Simic Rhythm, and 23 and 1 against Bant Rhythm.
Like feasting.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like,
and
they
that's
built
where the win
like,
rate comes from. Just absolutely annihilating these rhythm decks.
It's just like, let's crush them.
43 and 11 overall against rhythm.
Yeah. Which I love to see. Like, it lost against like Is It Lessons and Demir Midrange, but like they were lucky and
they called the
into the decks
metagame
that they wanted.
They figured out what people were going to play. They built something that has game against everything, but really smokes that. They were right.
And this really brings up one of those things where, like, we talk about draft being like a self-correcting format, right? Where you like play, the best deck comes up in the Pro Tour. Even you can try to play the best deck, and sometimes it just doesn't come together. Your win rate doesn't blossom out of nowhere just because you're playing the best deck, because people will try to take your cards. And in a very healthy constructed metagame, the same is true, where people are really hot on one card. Everybody knows about this. Everybody's expecting, are you going to play the Cub deck? Are you going to play the deck that beats the Cub deck? Or are you going to play the deck that beats the decks that beat the Cub deck?
Yeah.
How hard are you metagaming?
And like, how good do you think Cub is? Is it so good that the decks that beat it won't be enough, kind of thing? Like, you know what I mean?
If you can't beat it, you have to join it, right? So I was just, after kind of a year of like not frustrating tournaments, like, not that they were bad or anything, but like,
Just a lot
is
of
it deck after is it deck after mono red deck after is it deck, it's just like over and over and over again. And then even before the is it decks, it was like the freaking domain deck. Like, to be fair, I like the mono red and is it decks. I liked Corey Steelcutter, all those decks. Those are cards I enjoyed. But it's just a nice breath of fresh air where it's like, this is great. The deck that was like did a monster job in the tournament didn't win, but the top 8 was extremely diverse. I don't know. This is a very healthy metagame. This is like
pretty much perfect.
I don't know how more perfect this could be.
You can't ask for more than this.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
I do wonder, it's like, when they put the tournament this close to the release of the set, is this more natural to happen? Because if you give people a month to figure out that is the best, or get the optimal is it build, maybe that was the problem, right? It's always just,
it could be.
it's the
timing.
best. It just takes a little while to figure out exactly what the metagame is.
That's
Kinda
true
thing.
because, like I said earlier, that I was so excited there were so many Lorwyn Eclipsed cards in this, and if the tournament happened in a couple, honestly, the problem is like in a couple weeks, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles already,
Yeah.
so like they have to do it like this.
I like it. If this is the kind of
like it
tournament that results from them putting the Pro Tour so close to the release date of the set, keep doing it.
Yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, it makes everything so interesting and exciting to watch. Like if you remember back to when we had like the weekends, what were they called? They were just like play pro weekends. What were they?
League weekends?
League weekends. That's what they were. Right. They had a bunch of them. It was just the same players playing against the same players with kind of the same decks. And they were all right before a set came out so that they could promo the cards.
Yeah, that was so weird, though.
It was just whoever was scheduling this doesn't play Magic.
Yeah.
And so they just don't understand. They're like, oh, well, all the players will want to watch this and then see the new cards being spoiled. I'm like, no one wants to watch a tournament for spoilers. It'll be like one person and they'll just rip it and then they put it on Twitter and then everybody would
we
talk
want
about it there.
new decks, and
Yeah.
those decks are
With-
immediately invalidated. Like, it makes
Exactly.
no sense.
Yeah, it's like, sweet, look at this old deck I've been playing against for months because the last, like, it was brutal. But anyway, things seem to be better now. And this is giving me a very bright future, I think, for these, Pro Tours in general. Something that doesn't give me a bright future for Pro Tours in the future is our fantasy teams that we had picked.
Oh,
For
I thought that
this,
was the most
this
exciting
tournament.
part.
I don't agree, Jeff. I don't think so.
Well, why don't you remind the listeners, what we did, what the exercise was all about.
All right. So we are reinstating our fantasy drafts for the Pro Tours and the World Championship. We had stopped for a while, just did it once a year, but now we've decided, you know what? We're doing it for all 4 tournaments, all the best ones. And really, Jeff and I have like a side bet of who's going to beat each other. It's just about who can beat each other, right? Where it's
Yeah,
like,
because last time we were like the bottom 2, and you were
And I
second
beat.
last, and I was last.
yes, but I was still able to beat Jeff, so that was fine. However, this time around, well, first let me just explain it. We play fantasy. We draft fantasy teams for the Pro Tour. You pick 8 players that you think are going to be the top 8. You get 1 point per match win that they have, and then you get an extra point if they top 8, and then you get 2 extra points if they win the entire tournament. But usually the name of the game is that you want all of your players to day 2, because then you have a really good chance of making a lot more points. Because if they stop at day 1, in this tournament, you had to go 4-4 to go to day 2. If they didn't hit 4 wins in day 1, you're just...
It's like a double
You're
whammy, because they don't
Yeah,
get very many points for you on day 1, and then they don't have an opportunity to get more points for you on day 2.
exactly. So there's like no real... The catch-up mechanic is, I hope one of my players wins. Like, that's
Right.
basically what you need. Unfortunately, 2 of my players did not make day 2.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. Michael De Benedetto Plummer got 1 win overall. That was pretty brutal.
That's
and
tough.
Andre Strosky got 3 wins.
I never would have guessed that. Andre
I-
always seems to win.
I know. But you know who does always win? Javier Dominguez and Ely Cassis.
Yeah.
Both day 2'd again. They are
Would have been
continuing
crazy
their
not
streak.
to pick them after they are literally the longest running streak of straight day 2s.
Yeah, and they both did it, so they're still in it. We'll get to continue watching them at the next Pro Tour and see if they can continue to day 2. The more pressure that gets put on these guys, who knows?
I don't know. They're both
But-
pretty cool under pressure. Have you ever seen Ely speak though? He's like very chill.
He is super chill. Javier is much more like he's got more energy going on.
Yeah.
But he speaks really quickly and moves. Like, he talks about like this.
They always ask Ely
Ely's-
like why he did so well, and he's just like, my team came up with a great deck, and I really appreciate my wife letting me take the time to do this and watching the kids while I'm playing in the event or something. I'm just like,
which is 100% what you're supposed to say.
yeah, but
And
I'm
it's
also
also
like,
true.
yeah, for sure. I was like, but you're also like pretty good player, dude, because your teammates don't always stay too. You do.
Yeah, you're one of the best ones. Anyway, of all the people, Jeff, I'm just gonna I'm not gonna let you tell your story. I'm gonna tell your story for you.
All right.
But it'll be nice. Of all the people that played in our fantasy draft this time, through our whole Discord, everything, Jeff was victorious, not only by beating me, but by beating every other person. And he wins. Yeah. He wins the trophy of being able to say he won.
What can I say? I'm high variance. Dead last time. First place this time.
Yeah. Not only that, but every single one of Jeff's players made day 2, and he was the only. Or no, there were 2 people that picked Luis Salvato. I'm pretty sure that top 8'd, but you were one of them, and that was enough.
The worst player on my team was Sam Party, which I never would have guessed.
Wild.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
I know, he's so good.
Luis was such a funny one because I was just kind of like, there were so many names that there were a couple I knew I wanted on my team, and then I was like, let's just scroll and like feel the inspiration. And when I saw Luis's name, I was like, that's just like a phenomenal player who I haven't heard in the line, and I just like, something compelled me to just click that button, and that ended up being my best pick.
I know, I hated it. I was so mad when he was like doing really well day 2. I was like, take him out.
Like, no, fuck off.
In the 2 towers,
Yeah.
when the orc is running with the torch
Take him
towards
down.
Helen, take him down. That's how I felt. It was like he's Luis Salvato, and I'm like, get him, get him.
Well, Marco eventually took him down, but
yes, yeah. So he did.
But
he
just like
lost
in that
the
scene,
quarterfinals,
it was
but
a little too late.
it was a little too late. He already got the points for being in top 8. God, and the buys and everything. That's so many points.
And he was playing, the winning deck. So
He was on the same team. So,
and that's such a Luis deck too. Like, he's very good at these kinds of like very intricate, long-term game planning sort of combo decks.
yeah.
So if I knew that Dimir Excruciator was an excellent deck with this guy, I would have been like more confident in my Luis pick. But
Well, hey, I thought I had a similar pick with like Andre Strosky or something, and it didn't work out for me. So I gotta do it.
yeah,
It's
do. Just variance, right? Like Andre's a pick to win any event ever in almost any card game too. Like, you just can, he'll retire and come back and win this
And do
win
something
else.
somewhere else.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of players that are like that. I did want to give a shout out to Jim Davis, who was one of my players that I picked, who went 4-4 on day 1, squeezed
Just
right
got
into
into day 2. Love it.
and then once again went 4-4. So 8-8 total for the whole weekend. Which if you're playing in the tournament, you needed 10 wins to qualify for the next Pro Tour. But for our purposes, as a fantasy player, 8 points is pretty good.
It's like he was like, I don't want to let Zach down,
Yes, he really did. Anyway, so I was very happy with my Jim Davis pick. He currently isn't qualified for the next Pro Tour, but I was really happy that I got to have him for one of his winning runs. In my mind, he did well. Because 8 points, hey, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's a great score.
I feel like Jim low-key he just always does pretty well. Like, he's always in that, like, 8 to sort of 10 or 7 to maybe 10
kind of range.
I haven't seen him top 8 any of these big events. This not recently, but he's always like competitive. He's always solid, right?
Yeah, when he's playing. I don't think he's played a ton of them because he's got a lot of other stuff that he's doing.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, he commentates that he's like
shifting his career to a more stable
streaming
sort of
and
cash flow situation.
But still a great dude. Love watching his videos and love watching him play.
Yeah, he has that like cheesy vibe that I really enjoy.
Oh, it's so good.
The cheesy dad
he would
vibe.
be a regular for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
He kind of makes me. He has these really cool jerseys that he makes. It's like what is it, Goblin pile driver?
Yeah, the pile driver. Yeah.
So it's like,
but
Goblin,
it's like the New York Rangers, right?
It looks like the New York Rangers.
Yeah.
It's like a hockey jersey, but it's Goblin pile driver on his face, ripping his nose and everything. Which I love that art.
Sick.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. If it wasn't the Rangers, I'd be all for it.
Yeah. Well. But anyway, it's making me think, Jeff. We need jerseys. We're going to this tournament. We don't.
You're right.
I feel embarrassed. We don't have jerseys of any kind.
How are we not showing up in Ottawa Senators jerseys that just have our faces?
No. Oh God, no. God, please, no. No, but I meant like we can't really do hockey because it feels like he already took hockey. So
He
like,
did.
what do we do? I was thinking like we could do like either jerseys from baseball or basketball, or we could get those like baseball tees made, because obviously basketball is part of our, that we don't really watch basketball or care about basketball, but we do use it as our first sips thing.
It's true. And I've never been that into baseball, even though the Blue Jays, went to the World Series this year. But I've always really liked baseball attire. I think they have like some of the coolest look.
Well, Jeff, I think baseball tees are awesome. I love like the white with the colored sleeves that are like the 3/4.
Yeah.
All it says is arena regulars on the front, and on the back it says it's a home run slam dunk. I think that's just
perfect.
That's perfect. Really, I've just been thinking about this forever, and I finally want to pitch it to Jeff.
Yeah, you're just like, I need to pitch it to him on air so that
he has to say yes. He's got to say yes.
The other option is that, Jim took an NHL jersey, but we could take a PWHL jersey.
That's true, where we have our names on our butt, right? Or not butt, but like lower.
Yeah, I don't know if do we have to wear the hockey pants if we're going to do that?
Oh, maybe.
But that's kind of blowing up. And
it is. That would be cool.
Yeah, my friend invited me to a game recently that was happening in Hamilton. I just couldn't make it, but I was like, oh, fuck, this is like the one. I really would have liked to go see that. But
yeah, I am also interested in watching those games. One, because like the Maple Leafs are like sucking. And 2, it's way cheaper.
What else is new?
You know what, Jeff? They have been in contention of the playoffs since I moved here. So
they always have made the playoffs, I think.
Yeah.
Never, the second round.
Yeah, they're like the Buffalo Bills of the hockey world.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm anti-Bills now. So.
Jeff just decided that he doesn't like football. Or I don't know. He doesn't have a team anymore. That's more so what it is.
Yeah. They all, got buddy-buddy with Trump, and I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not a Bills fan anymore.
Understandable. This is why I don't learn more information about the Broncos.
Well, it was forced upon me, okay? A big picture of them all, like, golfing with Trump with the big smiles in their face. And I learned that the owners donated a lot to that whole side of things.
I think almost all the owners in the NFL, actually, of like probably most sporting organizations.
Yeah.
Because they want less regulations or blah, 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 whatever they want.
Yeah, like rich old white people
give money to other
Trump.
Rich old white people, yeah.
So anyways, I kind of soured my taste.
Yeah.
But you know what? I just won't read about the owners of the PWHL teams
Hey, there you go.
and
Yeah.
assume that they're great people.
It's
And,
really easy to do that. Yeah.
I just checked. The Ottawa Charge is in 5th
Okay.
out
Okay.
of 8.
Sure.
So-
I will say, I think they're called the Scepters. Sorry, PWHL. This is the Professional Women's Hockey League.
Yeah, the
for those-
Scepters are in 7th.
Okay.
They suck.
All right.
But yes, it's the women's professional
I
hockey
was
league.
just going to say, and when I was saying earlier, when their names are on their butts, it's really just lower on their jersey because they have longer hair, so you can't read their names when it's on the quote unquote normal place on the jersey.
Oh, some of the highlights are crazy too. There's
They're
one I
really
saw the other
good.
day that was like this woman just like absolutely undressed through the legs and then rips it top shelf, and I was like, whoa, that's not even something you would see in the NHL because you would just get punched in the face, kind of thing.
Yeah.
They would take a penalty to not let that happen.
Isn't this the classic like women's sports things where it's like all the fundamentals are like so much stronger with them?
Yeah.
But like for whatever fucking reason, everybody's watching these other ones. All right, well, I'm fully on board for being like just
It's all.
PWHL.
I know at least soccer. It's like often more technical because men's sports is just like I could just kick the ball the whole field and someone goes and runs and gets someone who's really fast runs and gets it, and the women just like play a very tactical game. And
Yeah,
if you
it's, like, much
enjoy
more
that
interesting.
tactical approach,
For sure.
more interesting, I think.
Yeah. I also agree. I also, it's not nearly as expensive to go watch these games, which is
Yeah.
the thing I think is much more interesting, is to be at live sporting events. But when I have to frickin' choose between paying my rent and going to watch a
Going
Leafs
to
game,
a Leafs game, yeah,
I'm gonna
and being
frickin'
in the
pay my rent.
nosebleeds.
Yeah, get out of town.
Is that Austin
That's-
Matthews? I can't
Yeah.
tell.
Is he even playing tonight?
Is that
What is
Mitch
that?
Marner? Oh no,
Oh,
no, wait, it's not.
No, he's
Mitch
on a
Marner.
different team now. Yeah. Was that Nylander flipping off the camera or something?
Yeah, and for some reason everyone's upset about it.
Upset about it? Whatever. Anyway, sorry. This went from like a Magic podcast to a hockey podcast out like just out of nowhere. But we do live like we're based in Canada, so what do you expect? Anyway, Jeff, do you have any? I did want to ask you before this weekend, which obviously as this episode airs, it will be this weekend. What do you want to build the most in your sealed pool? on
Great
Saturday?
question. I have two answers. Number one,
Okay.
it depends. It's like, what do I want to play versus what do I think would give me the most success?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say what I think would give me the most success for me personally is if I just had like the absolute no questions Kithkin pool.
Okay.
Because I know like Elves is all the rage, but I think part of that is that Elves comes together a little easier. But if you get that like, and we've talked about this before, the perfected aggro deck in sealed is almost like a shoe-in to just crush
Yeah.
everyone because they're all playing such nonsense. And so that's kind of what I want, like basically exactly what your opponent had when you posted in the Discord with the like triple lieutenant sort
Yeah.
of Kithkin thing. That's, I think, my best chance of success, and I would love to play that. I would love that pool. But I think what I really want is the Vivid pool. Because that, I've just had so much fun with Vivid decks, which normally isn't really my thing. Normally I'm like, oh, the 5-color, I hate the 5-color, like, sealed deck thing. It's always such, but this one is such an interesting spin on it. With, you know, what you called out immediately of, like, the color fixers are in blue and red. Or, like, there's the changeling, the colorless changeling, that helps you cast spells but does not help you get vivid. I think was a really interesting design choice. Like, I find that deck is the most fun one to build and play, and it's super powerful if it's there. So I'm kind of, I think if we're requesting things, I'll just ask for the Kithkin pool. But if you're not going to
Yeah.
give me the Kithkin pool, give me a really fun and weird, like, vivid build.
I was going to say Vivid, like that's what I was looking for. I know the deck that I should probably look for is like, yes, I should probably want to play Elves, or I should probably want to play
if you
Kithkin.
give me the nuts elves deck, I'm not going to complain. If you give me a bunch of goblins, I swear to God, face to face.
That would be pretty brutal. That would suck. I think what I really want to play is I want to play Seinar Initiative First Year, which is like, this is like the blue-red hybrid card that like pays you off for Vivid, where you get to just basically draw a bunch of cards every turn equal to the number of colors that you have, because you get to look at all these different cards in your deck and pick ones of all the different colors. And I keep having this experience where I open this card in my sealed pool, I build the deck around it because I think it's strong, and then people just don't play enough removal to kill it, and I just steamroll them with card advantage, and it feels so good.
I also love the blue-green one that like gives hexproof from your colors and turns things all colors. And I've played, for some reason it's happened multiple times where I had that and the Squawk Roaster.
Squawk Roaster. I was just about to say Squawk Roaster.
And it's such a sick combo. It's just like hexproof from everything and attack for 10. And
that's true, especially because that's blue-green and that's red. Because I was using the giant that like heaves them, takes off the -1/-1 counters and throws it.
Sure,
that's what I was using for
the
the
Squawk
Roaster
too, personally.
Yeah, but definitely the aggressiveness of like, this is my double striker that's going to attack, and it has a ton of power and it's unblockable.
And I even had a game where I didn't have that card in my deck, but I had the blue-black spell where you look at 7 cards from your opponent's library and choose one. And I picked up that to go with my Squawk Roaster. And I was just like, suck it. This is
God, that's so
deal
good.
with this. Deal with my weirdo vivid Mother of Runes that also actually like powers up all my spells.
Your aggressive stuff, yeah.
And people will often, I mean, this probably wouldn't happen in Toronto, but people will just like target stuff that's not the Mother of Runes card. I'm just like, okay, give it hexproof from that. Like, do you not understand what my card?
I know. Yeah. I've had other people that like would do that, thinking that it was something else. I had this similar situation where like people were playing with that card wrong, and I was like, it's just, I think Vivid would be absolutely the most fun, but I could see myself losing easily to it. But I could also see myself talking into a corner, like going through my deck and being like, all right, I want to make sure my mana's good enough, so I'm going to actually not play any of this powerful stuff. Try to play something more streamlined with a lot of 2-drops, and then losing to like 2/4s.
Yep.
So that's why like I actually don't really want to play Kithkin, because I'm worried that I'm going to try to build something aggressive and it's just not going to be good enough.
Lose to the 2/4 Death Touch Vivid life gain thing.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That's what you're hoping for your Vivid deck. I mean, that thing is.
Yeah, I'd much rather have one of those. Like all of that stuff, and being able to, obviously Vivid is super strong and sealed because you're playing a bunch of different colors. You get to play all your different rares. Like, that seems like something I'm interested in being a part of.
And I think it's why I think Vivid is so much more interesting to me in this set. And I think I mentioned it last time, but I think the de facto of this set is that it's like more about kindred, and you're trying to splash you want changelings are like the dual lands that let you pull your deck together and actually build something functional. And then they have this traditional 5-color deck that's like sort of the really different thing, and that's why I think it's so interesting here.
I do want to say that the fun thing about Vivid is that like And the format also works really well with it because a lot of times there are large board states, so you still have a bunch of permanents on the battlefield. But a lot of the times when they do the 5-color decks, it's just like these are all the best cards in all the different colors, and your payoff is like a 5-color legend that's like you have to spend one of every color, and then it draws cards or whatever. Yeah. But this is like, this card is good if you already have other cards on the battlefield that are colors, but by itself it's not as strong. Squawk Roaster, tradition, it's a 1/4 double strike, but when you get more stuff around it, it starts to be more of a threat. And
right.
So,
and like 2/4, you're not excited, but it's fine, and then 3/4, suddenly you're like, okay, for 4.
Like, here we go. Yeah. And then all you need is like a pump spell or that green +2/+0 trample indestructible, and then you're like, this is what we're talking about.
I love the hurler though. That's like a Squawk Roaster plus hurler is a classic.
So good.
But one thing I wanted to say though is, sorry to interrupt, but like normally one of the issues I have with encouraging 5-color nonsense in sealed is that you also get the advantage of you just play all your rares, right? Like, and here a lot of your rares are only good in the kindred decks that support them. So Vivid encourages you to play 5 colors, but that actually doesn't mean you get to play all your rares, because your champion of the perfect is probably not good in your Vivid deck.
Exactly. Your Sunderflock, well, no, that could still actually be kind of good, but like your Gloom Rippers and your all these kinds of things are like
some of the best rares in the set.
Fine. Yeah.
Actually, you wouldn't play in this deck, even though you can cast them. Technically,
exactly.
Well, I guess maybe can't really cast the champion of the perfect reliably, but like it's just different. It's not about mana; it's about something else.
It's exactly, which is really, really smart, and makes this so interesting. Because like most of the time when I'm like trying to build my decks, the first thing I want to do is go look at my mana and see how many common dual lands do I have of what colors. And this one's not about that because you don't have any. So then you're just like,
yeah, I don't even know where to start a lot of the time with these. I'm just like, do I have?
Yeah. It's like, okay,
changelings?
Changelings is something I'm looking at.
What's my removal is often where I'm starting. Like,
but also it's like, what are my bombs? Because like my removal doesn't matter all that much all the time.
Yeah, I guess like Arena kind of forces you to look at your rares.
It's
first.
True, immediately. But that doesn't always mean that those are like your bombs. I mean, like, it feels like
it's such a weird thing. It's like, oh, I have a champion of the prefect and a Gloom Ripper. I'm like, I sure fucking hope I have some elves.
Yeah, click,
nope,
and then you go in.
I don't.
No elves. Or you have 4 copies of the 3-mana 4/2 flash, and you're like, okay, well,
that card sees way more play than it has any business seeing, just because elves is the best deck in the format.
Yes, and like so the reason that the card sees more play and is like good enough is because it basically is just like a removal spell, because you want to obviously ambush something, but you want to trade it off, and you want it in the graveyard because your deck likes elves in the graveyard.
Right.
But like, it's not.
That's probably the number one card I play around though now.
Oh,
like, okay, elves deck is holding up 3 mana. Like, no.
Well, it's either that or it's the aura that gives them indestructible and trample.
Right.
So you're just like,
I think it's more likely to be the 4/2 most of the time.
Because you want creatures in your deck.
Yeah.
Because having
you
lots
want
of creatures
elves
is
in
good.
your elf deck.
Though I will say, putting auras on the first striker, the 2-mana first striker that I like, the Boros one, kind of fun. Though in the end, probably not good to pick a card that was, one of the colors is unsupported.
I made some real bad picks this time.
Yeah.
So, I think I might lose to Gemini this time. We're gonna have to see.
We'll have to look at it. I haven't actually looked at them very much.
I gambled on goblins being the best deck.
Yeah, you did.
It's the
that was
worst
brutal.
deck.
It's the worst of the supported.
Yeah,
decks.
right. It's not as bad as the rando, like, completely no synergy archetypes. But
And those ones are good and sealed, though. That's what I like. Well, maybe not blue black, because blue black does
I don't know
have
if
kind
they're
of like a thing going
good,
on.
but like they're serviceable. You can play them.
They're good if you have cards that are good in them. Yeah.
Yeah, but
you're-
like,
if
I
you-
don't know. What are the sealed stats? Like, I'm sure the best sealed decks are still
Well,
in
yes.
the
okay,
supported archetypes. You know what I mean?
Yes. I just mean that, like, don't look at your pool and be like, oh, if only this wasn't white and black cards. It's like,
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, yeah, if white and black's your best cards, play your best cards. Sealed has
play
always
those
been about
cards.
playing your best cards.
yeah. So, like, don't shy away from that. I just had a Boros deck that was, like, busted because, like, all my good cards were in Boros. And I was like, oh, I guess I'll just play Boros. And then I did
Nice.
really well. And I was like, sweet.
And it goes to your
So-
point earlier, if like traditionally when you check sealed, you're always checking your mana first, so they can I just play all my best cards? Is basically the question you're trying to answer. If I have the lands to just play all my bombs, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And this set is a little more interesting because
It's super interesting, dude. Sealed is where it's at. And
the sideboarding, there's like the -2/-2 to everything. That's like, well,
Yeah,
we're going
there's
to main
so-
deck this, but boy,
Yeah,
could
well,
this really F someone up.
It's not even just the -2/-2 in black, but also there's the pyroclasm is the rare, the freaking
Oh yeah, yep.
what's it called? The command, Ashling's command. So like, there's just
Which I think is one of the best cards in the set, apparently.
it's one of the best ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it actually is the best card.
It might be the actual best card in the set in draft by 17
Yeah.
lands data.
So I don't know. It's a very exciting set, and I think I kind of went from being excited for Lorwyn because we're going back to this plane, to being kind of bummed out because, oh right, like Kindred sets are actually not really good. I always thought that they were great, and then they're maybe not. To playing a bunch of sealed and loving it, and then drafting and being like, oh wait, sealed is way more fun when you're in this type of situation because they set it up this way. Obviously, I think Bloomborough sealed was not nearly as good as this because of the way it was designed. But all-time sealed format, I don't know. I can't remember another time where I was so excited to play sealed instead of draft.
Yeah, like I've only done one draft still because I've been. Oh, that's not true. I did a second one because I logged in on Tuesday night, being like, "Let me go
sure.
practice some sealed." Like, ah.
And you can't. Yeah.
But yeah, sealed. This format is a very interesting sealed format, and yeah, I'm excited to try it. My one concern is like, I just rely on Arena to do so much of the stuff. You know what I mean? That's like in paper. Gotta be on my game. But
Yes.
yeah, it's exciting.
Luckily, I have heard that the pools will be pre-registered pools. So this is going to be like Pro Tour level kind of things where they give you a kit that's already been opened and categorized, in the sense that like
have
maybe
to,
not
right?
maybe not
takes so
categorized,
long.
but they've already written everything down.
Yeah, you don't have to go through the like 1 hour phase.
Exactly.
Of,
Yeah.
anti-cheating.
Yeah, so you get to skip that whole chunk, and so I'm really hoping that all the cards are stamped, like in the
That'd
Pro
be
Tour.
cool.
I really want them to be stamped. That would be sick. If not, I'll have to bring my own stamp and just do it for
Yes.
fun. These were
It's
in
like,
my box.
Zach, you done building your deck? You're like almost done stamping.
Oh, almost. I'm just stamping right now.
Haven't started building it.
Yeah, but yeah. So that's exciting because the whole open your cards, show them to your opponent, pass your things,
It takes
write
so
down your
long,
opponent's pool.
yeah.
It's not really fun, and I think it was equated to homework on Saturday morning. It's like no one really wants to wake up on Saturday morning and do homework first thing. So
And for me, it's
kind of
mostly
agree.
just like, I need to get back to my family at some point. If we don't have to spend quite as much time
yes,
doing stuff
this-
that I don't enjoy, that'd be great.
Yes, I'm here to do things I like. Let me just do those things.
Not like, Judge, I marked one of these, but I actually have two. Can you sign my sheets? Like,
yes, like all that stuff.
it's the opposite. I marked two of these, but I only have one because of.
Yeah,
Philly
or
might just put another line. But
Yeah, and they're just like whatever. But yeah. So I don't know. Seems cool. I'm so stoked, dude. I can't wait. I'm excited.
this is a great sealed format.
Yeah. And the spotlights, if there is one close to you, maybe think about going. Check out which ones might be around, or even just local tournaments. Prepping for a tournament in paper. I know we're an arena podcast, but it is really exciting if you can get some friends
Super
together.
fun. Yeah.
Go to a paper tournament, and then use arena as a testing ground, which is what we've kind of used it for. If they let you, yes. Yeah, for your specific tournament. But also, the survey for Lorwyn Eclipsed is out. I don't know if there's a place where you could write, put this back on the arena, or whatever. But, you know, the more we can just get these together, be like, if arena could be more legitimate testing, that would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, because it has the power to be that, right? It's like rapid testing.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, the availability and honestly sometimes the quality. Sometimes when I jump into these sealed events, I'm like, my opponent was in a favorable position and made a mistake that I don't expect my opponents in Toronto to make.
Yeah, I did an arena direct, and I was like in a really bad spot, and my opponent did. Basically, I was like trading their. It was like their 2/2 merfolk that like gains life was attacking, and I was going to trade with my like Dundulin Weaver, the Kithkin that is a 2/1. Anyway, it like regrows something from your graveyard.
Yeah.
As I go to trade, because I'm like, well, we might as well trade, so they stop gaining life. They decide that run away together is the best way to get rid of that card. I was like, wait, what? So they bounce them back to our hands, and I have two other creatures. So then I get to play. One of my creatures is stunned under a Blossom Bind. So I play my Weaver, go get my like Runekin that bounces a permanent, play that, bounce my Giant back to my hands, get rid of their enchantment, and then recast my Giant. And then they just go, oops. I'm like, yeah, that was so dumb. I don't understand what they were thinking. But
it's like a classic example of a non-coherent plan. Because like when you attack, you are deciding, I'm willing to make this trade.
I'm going to trade. Yeah.
I guess what they decided was like, I'm hoping to get free damage, but if they block, I could just...
I also don't know if it was like, I hope to just gain 2 life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but because if you run away together, you don't gain the life.
Well, no, you do, because it attacks, it triggers, you gain 2 life, and then you...
Oh, right.
When I
Sorry,
went to blocks, they just bounced.
Yeah.
No,
of course.
And so it was just like it was...
It's not worth 2 life, though. That's crazy.
It isn't. So it was just one of those things where I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have won this so easily.
Right.
They just
it's
gave
just
me
like a
free
total
win.
punt, basically.
Yes. Which I was very happy to take. And Arena is great because they do enforce rules. Like, there's no takebacks.
Right. That part's true. There will be no takebacks in Toronto either.
That's true.
But I just don't expect that kind of mistake to happen. Even in the first round, to be honest.
Yes, definitely. I will say, with this tournament, I want to be... When I say harder on my opponents, I mean more like... I want to be stricter with the rules, where sometimes I'm a little nice and a little loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
And...
It's a weird balance, because, like, there's a way to be friendly... but still sort of stern or whatever. And when I learned that lesson, it was basically like, it's not about, like, you have to shift your mentality from like pre-release and whatever, where you don't want to be mean to new players who are trying to learn.
Yeah.
That's not what's happening here. It's people trying to
win.
trying to cheat you, basically. Like, they are trying to use your niceness as a way to get away with stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of mentality change you have to make, where you're just like, I'm not going to be rude or mean. Mistakes happen, I get that. But what I have to do is not allow them. And if it's serious enough, I should call a judge to let them know that this happened, because if it happens multiple times with the same person, that's evidence of cheating.
They need to be flagged, and
Yeah.
it's also just important to
And if anyone gets offended by that, they probably are trying to cheat. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah. But like, setting boundaries is important, and I feel like I had another point, but I kind of lost it a little bit as we get to the end of these beers.
Yeah. It's probably my fault for interrupting you so many times, but
yeah, I'm so mad at you. I can't believe
I can tell.
You're
Just, Zach is seething.
But
might even write a song about it.
So it's either people purposely doing it to try to get away with something, or people that are a little loosey-goosey, and you should just kind of set a boundary of like, we are going to play straight. And I've even said this, I think I've said this on podcasts before, but I've played against an opponent who is probably going to be there tomorrow. He's a Magic player around here, and he is very, very clean. And he is always very meticulous about which lands he taps for which spells and what colors are being used, and is very clear about every action that happens in the game. And I've complimented him on it before, being like, I really like playing against you because you do this. Thank you. Keep doing that. And so if you finish your match and you're like, hey, thanks for being so clear about everything, that was an enjoyable experience. You can be nice after and say things like that.
Totally.
Or if people legitimately just forget because they're used to play Commander or something, just be like, yeah, it sucks that you forgot.
Yeah. I remember you played against him at face
like
to
the whole
face.
a lot of the game is just remembering your own stuff. Like it's like, it's kind of like chess where you're like, oh, I didn't see that was there. It's like, well, it was there the whole time. So like, you can't.
Right.
That was your fault. Like, that's, and then they're like, oh, can I take it back? It's like, no, because that's the whole game. The whole game is that you have to keep all this in your brain.
Yeah.
And so you forgetting something is a gap in your gameplay.
Right.
Like
that's the mistake you made. Yeah.
That's what we're trying to suss out. Who's better at doing this? Yeah. And if you forget stuff, then you're not as good. Like, that's just what it is.
Yep. Agreed.
So
I remember you playing against him at face to face. So maybe he'll be here face to face tournament.
Yeah. So he could
very
totally
Reed-Dukian.
This guy. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I've always liked about Reed Duke, is he's very, very clear about the board state and what's going on, and it leaves very little room for interpretation or thing. But I think you made a great point that I fully agree with, which is like, the difference between trying to cheat you and just being a sloppy player doesn't really matter that much, right? Like, you can't be ambiguous about the board state in a way that gains you an advantage, right? Which is, it's not fair.
Yeah, whether lands are tapped or not, or like, because then it gets to the kind of point where it's like, it's not my job to make sure that your board state is clear, because now you're making me split my brain into multiple areas, where it's like, why do I have to keep making sure that you're tapping the right lands for your spells all the time? Because sometimes you don't, and you just forget. Like, that shouldn't be. Now all I'm doing is making sure that you're not cheating, and then I lose because I'm not paying attention to something else. Like, that's an annoying thing that you shouldn't have to deal with.
Yeah. And maybe I'm a cynic, but it's like, these people always talk about, I think it's just sloppy. It's not trying to cheat. I'm like, well, the sloppy play never seems to harm them. It's never like sloppy in a way that's bad for them. It's always sloppy in a way that is beneficial. It's kind of like my cable provider often overcharges me accidentally, and I have to call them and then talk to them, and they're like, it's a mistake. The mistake never seems to undercharge me. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. That's true. Though, also to be fair, would you notice if you were undercharged and just because if it's like, oh, it's lower than I thought, okay, and then you just move on.
I think it would be if it was lower than my base. That would be like part of
You
it
would
is that
notice.
whatever the math works out to is like there's a base and there's surcharges, so it's very difficult for them to get it wrong and undercharge you.
Yeah,
But it's like you also designed it that way. Like
of
this,
course. Yeah,
you know. But
yeah.
I wouldn't even notice these days if they overcharged me because it's all auto paid now. If it was like a few times in a row, I'd be like, "What's going on? Why is this so high?" But to be
Yeah,
totally honest, if they squeezed an extra $10 out of me on one of these, I'm to be like, might not notice. But back in the day when I was a little tighter on that kind of thing, I noticed that Bell used to overcharge me frequently, and I have to call them and be like, this is not, I don't understand what this $15 is doing on my bill. And they'd be like, oh, it's a, a script error, whatever the hell they said. And I'd be like, huh, that's funny. Phantom $15, it's not always the same that there's a credit or a debit. It always seems to go one way.
Yeah. Freaking companies trying to steal stuff from us. Thank God Wizards never does that.
I know, right?
Anyway, Jeff, I'm really excited for this tournament. I know we've been talking about it for weeks,
Yeah.
but that's the fun of the
Pumped.
tournament. Let's go to last call. Let's talk about these beers, or this beer that we drink, and rate it.
That's it.
So as always, we rate our beers on a scale from bronze to mythic, just like the tiers in Arena. However, this has nothing to do with which tier you are in currently, because everybody's in different tiers at different times. So don't feel bad when we say that bronze beers are trash. They're horrible. You spit them on the ground, you pour them out, you hate them. They are disgusting.
Silver beers are just bad or kind of boring.
Gold beers are fine, but you wouldn't drink them again.
Platinum is solid. You would totally drink it again.
Diamond is exceptional. You like this a lot. You show them off to your friends.
And Mythic, these are the best of the best. These are the vivid sealed decks of the beer world.
Hey, that's exciting. Man, I really wish I get some like vivid stuff tomorrow. That'd be
Come
amazing.
on.
And when I say tomorrow, I mean Saturday.
I was going to say, is it tomorrow? My God, I didn't
Is
love
it
my
tomorrow
work
already? Okay. A double instead of a triple. This beer. Jeff, what are your thoughts? What are your beginning thoughts? I won't make you. I can rate it before you do, because I know that
Sure.
you. Yeah.
No, I liked it. It wasn't quite what I thought, because I thought it was going to be like Fin du Monde, but the double, and it was kind of different. It was darker.
Super different.
It had a different sort of body to like balance going on. I guess I just sort of assumed that. I saw that it was the same company that made a Belgian double. I was like, this is the double version of their triple, of course.
To be fair, most of the time that's what happens.
Right?
Most,
like,
yeah.
And I've always thought that. And now that I actually tried it, it's just kind of a different beer.
It's
but
a totally different beer.
It's nice. I like it.
It is good. I do like it. In our fridge, we do have a smaller version, a
The
petite.
Petite Maudite.
Yeah. It sounds a lot cooler when Jeff says that. I'm not going to say it because it's all American bullshit. But I'm kind of excited to try that one now.
That one's like
Because
half the size, right? It's like
It's half the alcohol.
Yeah, that's
It's
what I
the
mean.
same size can.
Right,
It's
same
not-
volume.
It's not this.
Dang, I was really hoping for a Petite Maudite would be
Yeah.
8%, but
Yeah.
175 mils or whatever.
Yeah. Because that would make sense. It's like the same beer, but smaller.
Yeah. And for some reason in my head, it has the same diameter. It's just
Oh,
shorter.
yeah. It's just a
It's
chode.
like a
yeah.
little hockey puck.
Yeah, totally. I think yours is probably a bit more PG than what I said. But anyway. Yeah, I think I think this was nice. I definitely prefer Le Fin du Monde. So
Fin du
it's,
Monde is better. Yeah.
it's hard. When I first drank it, I was kind of thrown off with this is not it.
Yeah, I might have thrown you off with my intro, which was...
Well, it wasn't just your intro, but it's also, I had those same like ideas.
Right. You know it's the same brewery, right?
Yeah. So I do really like it. Would I recommend this to people? I don't know. Because if they're going there, I would tell them the beer that I really like.
That's the thing, right? Like that's the tough part. It's like I don't think I would ever get this over Fin du Monde. I would always just get Fin du Monde.
Yeah. Which in the past we have had beers from breweries that we did like their single, their triple, their double, and we liked their double the most over the triple.
Right.
And so that's why it's kind of like there are times where it's like, you went a little bit too far. Or sometimes like, you didn't go far enough or whatever.
Go far. Yeah.
So I think this is platinum for me. I like this, but I'm really interested in the petite version because
I know, me
a
too.
4% that tastes kind of like this is very appealing to me right now.
Yeah.
And so I think
I was thinking the same thing when I was
me.
drinking it. I was like, if the 4% version tastes anything like this, like that might be able to push itself into the higher tiers. But
I think that because that's in the realm of like, I don't know, camping beer, where it's like you could just, camping beers, they do need to be refreshing, and sometimes some of these beers are,
it's a different category, right? Like,
maybe like a campfire beer.
you almost
where it's
want
like
the
we're
silver
camping.
beers for camping.
Yeah, where you literally just want what's the cheapest and most I can get where I won't be that drunk. That's what you're looking for.
Or where I won't fall into the fire.
Yeah. Yeah, or if you're me, kick the fire with your boots, just to show it who's boss.
Take that fire.
I lost a couple pairs of boots doing that, so just
More than one.
sometimes you just got to kick the fire,
Fair.
Anyway,
Fair.
I think platinum for this beer, personally.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But delicious.
It's good, yeah. It's just, it's not Fin du Monde, and it's just not really worth the 8% tax to me, I guess. It's like
I think that's what it is now. Where if we drank this 4 years ago,
yeah,
diamond for sure.
right, exactly. It'd be like, it's not quite as good as Fin du Monde, but it's still awesome.
But it's
diamond.
and that would be where it
Now
would
I'm
go.
like, oof, I'm going to pay the cost of an 8% beer. It's got to
Exactly. It's
be
got to
awesome.
it's got to be awesome. But I do like it. Fantastic. Well, Jeff, let's go to closing time.
Let's do it.
As always, you can reach us at Arena Regulars on Instagram and Blue Sky.
Might also find us on Arena itself under the username Arena Regulars Podcast.
If you want to talk to me personally, you can find me at @theregular_Zach. I'm on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and different places. But Jeff, where can they find you?
Best place is our Discord channel. The link for our Discord channel is in the show notes. Come chat about the Pro Tour. Come chat about Standard. Come chat about Limited. How this is the best sealed format ever. And if you like playing Limited, we actually run a peasant arena cube draft. That means it's only commons and uncommons, so you get to use all those wild cards you have stashed up. Don't worry about the rares and mythics, you won't need them. And it's curated, it's super fun. I believe I'm the reigning champion on that,
What?
So...
Oh, that's really... Well, I see. I haven't been playing while I've had a newborn, so...
Yeah. All you have to do is just Reflector Mage people 6 times, and that usually wins the game.
Wow. That's
No, but the cube is awesome. It's really a lot of fun. So come join again. Look to the show notes for the link to the Discord.
That is right. Also, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, follow us on Spotify. Leave us a review there as well. Go to our YouTube channel. Give us a little comment. Tell us what you think about the show, because obviously, reviews are nice and they help people come to the show and they find it and blah, blah, blah. But really, we want to connect with you and hear what you think about everything we've been saying. This has been the Arena Regulars.
Reminding you that if you want more great Arena Regulars content, you want to see us in action, check out the stream of the tournament in Toronto this weekend.
That's right. We're definitely
Going to be there.
Good.
All right, that's fine.